Hi, I'm Rebecca, and this is my vlog about knitting, and that's it. I don't spin, I don't do anything else. I just knit. I don't dye yarn. I like knitting. I don't want to dye yarn. I don't want to spin. I don't want to do any of that. All I want to do is knit when I knit. Okay, so I am 40 years old. I live in Washington State on the west part of it, Bremerton, and I have 5 kids and a boyfriend and 2 dogs. Okay, so I have not been knitting. That's why I haven't done a vlog, because I haven't really knit anything because I didn't know what to knit. The scarf that I've been knitting is a lot of like mental focus, and I'm just not there right now. I've been working on some things. I have been getting a degree in neurology, not really, but like an armchair degree. And I've been taking a lot of brain meds, which kind of puts me in a position where just focusing is not my thing. I went off my Ritalin. My doctor doesn't know that yet. I think he's going to be happy. I think he's going to be happy because I know that prescribing things like that isn't their favorite thing to do. So anyway, I've just been kind of dealing with that. And one of my kids got sick with like some kind of cold, but nobody else got it so far, which is good, and she's better. But there was that. So she was home all day, and I just don't like doing this when people are home because they tend to get in my way. I painted my wall. I am in my bedroom. I have not figured out yet how to get the lighting to reflect the actual color, but trust me when I say this is the blackest forest green ever. It is so nice. I love it so much. The problem with it is that it really doesn't show green unless we have like the windows open. We don't have really good lighting in our room, and it definitely kind of shrank the room, even though my room is huge. So you can see it's got a green tint to it, but it's more like this in real life. I love it so much. I love it so much. I'm so happy I found it. It is Black Emerald by Sherwin-Williams. And it's a retired color and like archived color, so you can't even get a sample. You can only go get it in a gallon. I think they do a quart. You just have to blind faith do it, and it was exactly the color that I wanted. I held up those things for you guys, the paint chips, and I was like, I don't really like any of these. These aren't perfect. This is perfect. This is perfect. I am so happy about this. The ceiling part is not done because I have to tape the ceiling, and I don't want to because I'm not actually very good. I mean, you can see kind of like it's uneven, but to be fair, the wall is uneven. So there's that. I am so in love with this. I think it's so great. And then I got like a red tinted white. It's not red, it's not pink, it's just got the red undertone to go with this, and I'm gonna paint the rest of the room that color if I ever get around to it. I'm so happy, I'm so happy. Marshmallow is the color, by the way. Marshmallow and Black Emerald. Oh my God, I love this. I love this, I'm so happy with it. I did paint my living room like that charcoal black color, and that worked out okay because we have so much natural light in there and unnatural light. But this is not really working with the lighting situation. So we're gonna have to figure out something for that because I want to be able to see it all the time. Okay, anyway, really happy about it. Like ridiculously happy about it. It is so perfect. I don't even really love green. This is amazing. Oh, I forgot something. Okay, anyway, hi, how are you? How's it going? I never say this, I always forget because it sounds weird, but I'm gonna put my Instagram handle down there. Follow me. I always follow back. If I didn't follow you back, I don't know, let me know, because or unfollow me and follow me again, I don't know, but I always follow back because I just want to make friends, knitting friends, right? So that would be cool. Anyway, I have been preparing for Advent, and everybody who knows me knows that Advent is like my favorite thing. I'm like knitting Advent, where you open up a package, a mini, every single day. They're expensive, but I did a DIY one this year. I got some mystery skeins from Yarn Cafe Creations. She had a sale on mystery skeins, so I bought that. I got 20 skeins for $60, and I'm just gonna get 5 more somehow. I'm not sure yet how I'm gonna do that. I might do a swap. I might have my daughter buy me, like pay and have my daughter buy me some, but I haven't seen them. My daughter's gonna put them in paper bags for me, But here's the thing is that I usually get 2 Advents just because I love Advents and I love opening a little present every day. I love Christmas. It's like my favorite thing. I'm totally a winter person. I love winter so much. Not so much fall and spring. Winter is my thing. I don't even like summer, actually. I only like the weather when it snows. Because I like knitting. No, that's not why. Because I love knitting. But it's just perfect. It works out, right? So, happy summer, everybody. Summer has showed up here. Wow. I'm going off on tangents. Okay, so Advent. That's where we were. So I didn't know what to do with my Advent this year, especially because the colors aren't going to all go together, I don't think, because they're all, it was like a mystery, not like a, you know, she didn't put them together. Obviously, that wouldn't make sense to put in all that extra work. So I was like, what am I going to do? I don't know. I've done so many things. And then Lisa from the 72 Stitches podcast has an Advent that she didn't use, and now she's using them, but she's making shorty socks with them, which I think is such a good idea, because who doesn't love socks? And I don't match my socks. If you ever meet me and I'm wearing socks, they're not matching. In fact, I wash my socks in the washer and dryer, and I don't even have pairs anymore. Like, I only have one of each, so I try to like coordinate shades, so I'm not wearing one dark one and one light one, but other than that, I wear them for practicality, not for showing them off. So I don't really care if anybody likes it or not, because I don't mind it. And I wear them with Birkenstocks, obviously. I wear regular socks with Birkenstocks too. It's just, they're easy and that's what I wear. And I've had them since I went to Stitches Salt Lake back in 2017, which we won't even get into the Stitches debacle. But I wore them then, and I've had them ever since. I wear them almost daily, unless it's like raining, daily when I go outside, which is almost never. And they've held up all that time, and I'm so excited about them. Like, I love them so. They're honestly one of the only pairs of shoes I have. I have that, and then I have like a pair of boots, like winter boots, I guess. That's it. That's all I wear. Anyway, wow. 24 socks for Advent. And then that's cool because I have like 12 pairs and they're all what I wear anyway. So that's awesome. So here's the thing is that I don't want to knit a sock in a day, a shorty sock in a day. I could, but that would take me like at least 8 to 9 hours. And I don't want to spend every second of December knitting because there's so many other things going on. Last year I fell behind, but to be fair, it was a lot of knitting. And usually I don't fall behind, but I did last year. So here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm planning on doing. I'm going to knit 24 half socks. So the cuff, the leg, and the heel. I'm gonna knit that, 24 of those before Advent happens. And then when Advent happens, all I have to do is knit the foot and the toe, which is gonna take me probably 2.5 to 3 hours maybe 2 hours if I sit and focus, but 3 hours if I put it down sometimes. And I can do that. That's attainable. I think I can do that. So that's what I'm going to do. Every Advent, I'm going to make a little sock. Now I wanted to make a pair, so 2 feet, but a mini's not going to cut it. See, okay, so I already did a test sock to figure out a couple things. So this is a mini, and this is just Knit Pick Stroll that was in a 50-gram skein. First of all, I made the toe too narrow. A lot of people start with, 8 stitches on each side, or end with 8 stitches on each side. I end with 14 stitches on each side. And I messed that up because I was following the directions for a toe-up sock, and it said 16, right? Because 8 on one side. And I was like, well, I usually start with 14, so 16 is going to be fine. But I don't actually end with 14, I end with 28, which I did not consider. So when I was putting on 8, I was like, well, 16, that's fine. And then I got to about here and I realized what I did. And at that point, it's too late to frog, right? You're just stuck with it. So I went for it. And I tried to figure out how much of a sock a mini would make. And it's about this much. But this took me, one day for the foot and then the next day for the rest of this. Because I wasn't knitting very much, actually, that day. I worked on this for 4 hours, from like 6:30 to 10:30. So that was only 4 hours, but I did put it down to eat dinner and like put it down for a couple of conversations and stuff. So we had the window guy come actually while I was knitting on it. So while he was talking, I was just sitting there knitting. Okay. So what I had originally thought about doing was doing 2 feet for every mini, and then I could have 24 pairs of socks. And that isn't going to work, because what I wanted to do was see if the heel was going to be the length of the sock. And you can tell, obviously, that it is not. I also wanted to do a toe-up sock with a Fish Lips Kiss heel, which I have never done before, obviously. And I didn't enjoy it. I don't like toe-up socks because people are always like, oh, you can try them on. Yeah, you can try them on, but you might not get the heel right. And so your try-on didn't help anything. I have a pair of socks that, like, I did the skew socks where the heel is like kind of it's a swirl. And I guesstimated wrong. And so it's like ridiculously tight and uncomfortable because the back of it makes a band that goes around your foot, your heel, and it doesn't stretch. So I do wear them, but they're hard to get on and hard to get off. So this is this. I don't know what the mini is. I don't remember. It's just an orange mini. And the fact that it matches the blue was a total accident because I knit the cuff first, which, oh my gosh, let's talk about that. So my thought after I realized, no, well, you know what I mean. One of my thoughts was that I could knit toe up and then get all the way to the heel, and then I could just knit the leg with the mini and then knit the cuff too, right? While I was working on this. And then knit the leg for however long the mini is, which is actually that long, which is pretty long. I don't knit my socks that long. But then knit the cuffs in advance so that all I had to do was graft them on at the end of knitting it. And I was like, well, see, that'll work. The problem with that is that you can't see the leg then, because the only thing you can see is the foot, because I always wear jeans with my socks. And grafting this was horrible. And I made a mistake, and it wasn't fun. I don't know if you can see. It didn't go well. It was horrible. Grafting 64 stitches, Kitchener stitch. I don't mind Kitchener stitch when it's 14, but 64 was a lot, and I lost count, and I didn't enjoy it. And at some point, oh, there we go. You can see towards the end, but I just didn't do a very good job. I was like, well, you know what? It takes me forever to knit a cuff, but I think I'd rather do that every day than graft one. It was a good idea in theory. It didn't work out. I don't like doing toe-up socks. I don't like the way they fit. I don't like knitting the foot first. I don't like trying to figure out what the heel is. And this was a disaster because the Fish Lips Kiss heel directions for toe-up is like 14 pages. And it's all about making a cardboard cutout of your foot and then measuring it. And honestly, who has time for that? I don't want to make a cardboard cutout of my foot. I wish the directions were just like, knit it until this part of your foot and then, you know, whatever, then you'll be fine. But it's not. Like, you're required to make a cardboard cutout, apparently. And I just don't want to. That's kind of all there is to it. I just don't want to. It seems like too much effort and too much work for what should be enjoyable. So what I did was I grabbed a sock. Oh, I didn't bring one. I grabbed a sock that I'd already knit top down with a Fish Lips Kiss heel, and I was like, well, I'll just measure that and that'll be fine. And it would have been fine, I think, had I not had this narrow toe, because when I was measuring, I kind of started from the toe, and my feet don't really fit the narrow toe. And so this is probably just a few rows short of what would actually fit me well. I don't like toe-up socks. I really genuinely hate them. I'm sorry, I hate them. We're at 14 minutes right now, wow. So, I haven't showed you what I knit. So, I knit this. So I'm not gonna graft. I'm not gonna make 2 feet. I'm only gonna make 1 sock per. And I might, no, because okay, so let me show you what I'm doing. So I am knitting half a sock, the cuff, the leg, and the heel. And I made the legs kind of short because I was thinking, well, if I ever want to add some extra, like if I ever have time to like do a leg and I want to do toe up, this is how much I would have. So I was kind of trying to match them a little bit. So I knit a Fish Lips Kiss heel. I put all of these 64 stitches on a waist yarn so I can just pick them up. I do 15 rows for my cuffs, and that is because that's the only length I can stand. When I am tired of knitting the cuff, tired of it, and I cannot stand it anymore, I do 13. I'm always at 13. I count and it's always 13. And I'm like, oh, I can only do 2 more before I cannot handle this anymore. I hate ribbing. I do a German twisted cast on. It's my favorite. And that's the other thing I don't like about toe up socks, honestly, is binding off. I find it so horrible. So this is Knit Pick Stroll, and I actually started using the gradient that they have. It's a neon gradient. Sorry, I'm getting my needles out of it. So that is that, because I was like, well, what am I going to use for the legs? What I'm going to use for the legs is FOMO. So then I got this rainbow effect. So this was the first one I knit. And then I knit this one, and I actually had this like idea while I was knitting it for like some pattern. I was kind of thinking about it while I was ribbing, and I got bored of it. I got like 3 rows in and I was like, I don't want to do this, because I don't like pattern socks, because I just don't like doing them. I'd rather not think, and especially knitting them twice is not my thing. So I have this one, and then I did this one yesterday, and you can see now that we're getting into the orange. The orange is not as big as the pink, so my next sock will probably be like a yellow on the heel. So when you put them all together, I kind of have this like, see, you can see the pink was so many, and the orange was nothing. That's okay. That's okay, because it doesn't matter if they match on top or not, because they're not going to match on the bottom, so it doesn't matter. I do want to do the toes in all the same color, because I want them to be at least somewhat cohesive. So I can't decide if I should do, I'm not doing white, black. It's hard to decide when I don't know what the colors are. Or I was thinking maybe like a Christmas yarn, and so, but then they're Christmassy, so I don't know. Maybe red. Haven't figured it out yet, but I won't know. So, but I think that neon pink is a neutral. And I don't mean that weird like Stephen West. I mean, genuinely, I think neon pink kind of goes with everything. So I might just make a lot of neon pink socks, unless I get bored of that, which I will. So yeah, I think like, you know, imagine like a neutral foot on this. I think it would be fine. Or like a black foot on it, or a bright foot. I think neon pink kind of goes with everything. In fact, I think neon yellow goes with everything. I don't know. I think neons are genuinely a neutral. And I think I look really good in neon pink. I wore a neon pink sweater on here once, and you all like said it looked good on me. And everybody says it looks good on me. So neon pink is one of my favorite colors to wear. Okay, so that's my plan. I use size 0 needles. I think I've talked about that before. My gauge is very loose on size 0s, but it's what it is, unless I go down to double 0s, which I don't have. So there you go. That's what I'm doing for Advent. That's all the knitting that I've been doing. And the other problem I have with that scarf that I'm making, the Curtis shawl, is that it requires me to have these 2 big boxes out on the couch, and it just takes up a lot of space. So there is that. My back hurts. Sitting up straight is not for me. I'm out of shape. So that's it. That's what's been going on. I painted my wall. I did that 2 days ago. I bought the paint a long time ago. I just didn't have the space to even paint a wall. So that's that. I hope you guys are having a good day, a good week, a good whenever you watch this. And I will do this again at some point. No promises. Probably not tomorrow. And add me on Instagram. Let's be friends. Let's be knitting friends. No multi-level marketing though. Don't come at me with that. And I gotta sneeze, so bye.